All right. So let's talk about that services offering by cloud Azure, right? Now, these are the services. These are the few of the services which are offering by the Azure. You can just get more and more exposure on the Azure portal itself. Now, what it means. So if you look at it, then it has some Azure AD, Azure AD, Azure ADDC. So these color, so these are the different colors are there, right? So it means they are the part of one team. So if you remember, there is an engineering field. So engineering field is having a different department, electronics, electrical, computer science, IT department. So like that. So here, if I'm talking about data and storage. So data and storage is having a SQL database. It is having a SQL data warehouse. Here we are having a document DB. Here we are having the cache, search, storage. So these are what? These are the related with the storage services. If I'm talking about the compute, so these are the services which are connected with the compute, which means your virtual machines, your service fabric is there, batch is there, remote app is there, cloud services are there, right? So these are the services included in a compute. So, and these are the categories. So as we have it in a Flipkart as well, we have a men's fashion, we have a women's fashion, we have a kitchen appliance, we have a electronics gadgets like that. So these are the categories and where these are the different services. So these are the offerings by Microsoft. Now, in order to get that services, what you required? You required to purchase Azure. You need a subscription. Now, what is meant by subscription? Can anybody tell me about that?
Access to the services.
Yes. In the world, nothing is for free, right? You have to pay for each and everything. So here also, if you want to use a cloud, if you want to use that services in the Azure, then you have to pay for it. So how you can pay for it? By using the subscription, right? So subscription is nothing but it's a kind of a billing unit for the services. And this is what it's a kind of a pay as you go. So like your, let's say you have a prepaid account and you have a postpaid account. So inside the postpaid account, you are just paying whatever you are utilizing. You are just consuming. For that only you are paying for that, right? So it's a kind of a postpaid card, right? So if you are using a virtual machine for 5 minutes, then Microsoft will charge you only for the 5 minutes. If you are using 5 minutes and 30 seconds, then it will charge you like that only, right? So Microsoft will charge you per minute basis, but it will give you the output in the hours, right? So if I'm using the virtual machine, if I'm creating the virtual machine, it will say that, okay, 6 rupees per hour. But in the back end, it will calculate in the terms of minutes. If I'm using only for a 1 hour, then it will cut only my 6 rupees. If I'm using 1 hour and 30 minutes, then it will take only 9 rupees. So like that. So this is what a subscription. Now, in order to take that subscription, you already know about, yesterday I have sent you some link for that for the free trial, right? But you can add in a one portal itself, you can add a multiple subscription on the level of functional area, on the level of business unit area, on the level of geographic area. You can add multiple subscriptions. Now, functional means what and business unit means what? Let's say I have a IT department. Let's say I have a HR department in my organization. So these are the different business units. We have a consultant department as well. So these are the different units. So I can say that, okay, I can create a separate subscription. HR will say that, okay, why I'm paying for an IT department? Because the utilization of resources are more in IT department. So I'm not going to pay for it. Then HR will say that, okay, I want my different subscription. Then you can just create a subscription, different subscription by using the business units. You can do the functional strategies as well, as per your choice. This is the production department, this is a testing department, this is a QA department. So like that also you can create the subscription, as well as the geographic area. It means your organization. Let's say my organization is having an office in an India region, in a US region. Then I will create a different subscriptions for different areas. So this is what the geography strategy. So like that, you can add a multiple subscriptions inside a one portal. Now, for this particular thing, as we yesterday talked about the free trial account. Now, what is mean by free trial account? So if you are new to the cloud, Azure cloud, then you can go for a free trial account. Now for the free trial account, how you can access it? You can just search for that Azure free trial account. Then you can just have a one option, which is the start free. Now where in the free trial account, Microsoft gives you $200 for 12 months. What is mean by that? Microsoft gives you $200 for 12 months. But that 12 months, out of that 12 months, only 1 month you can utilize that free service. Okay? You can utilize that free service. That's only for a 1 month. And what about rest of the 11 months? Can you please, if you are having, just let me know. Esteem. Check. Let me mute. All right. Okay. So from that 1 month only you can utilize the free service. But after 1 month, you have to upgrade yourself to pay as you go. To pay as you go account. Right? Now, once you upgrade yourself to the pay as you go account, for the next 11 months, you will get a few services as a free of cost. But after that, you need to pay for it. So let's say by using the free services, I can have a 3 virtual machines. For 1 month, I can create only 3 virtual machines in my subscription. Now, after the pay as you go account, for the rest of the 11 months, maybe they will reduce that particular thing. Okay, 1 virtual machine you can create a free of cost, but if you are creating the another virtual machine, you have to pay for it. So pay as you go means what? Where whatever you are using, for that only you have to pay. So most of the time for our demonstration purpose or any other thing, we are going for the pay as you go account, right? And in a one subscription, you can, in a one portal, you can add a multiple pay as you go account. But your organizations are working on this one, not this one. Your organizations are working on this. So member offer, it's a kind of a membership with Microsoft. So it's an enterprise agreement, EA agreement. So if you are having a very bigger organization, like as I said, Mahindra and Mahindra Group of Industries or the Reliance or Accenture or TCS, they are having a directly connection with the Microsoft. They will create an agreement with the Microsoft, okay? And they will say, okay, I will utilize your data centers for my organization, and you have to give me a dedicated data center. Dedicated means what? It's a public cloud only. But on the public cloud, let's say we are having a multiple data centers, then out of the data center, these data centers are mine, only dedicated for my organization. So that part you can get it in that enterprise agreement, as well as If you are having the enterprise level agreement, if you are having a very, very bigger organization, so Microsoft also give you some benefits. So what kind of benefits? Okay, you will get a supports, technical supports from Microsoft. You will get technical trainings from the Microsoft. Let's say if I'm having a AZ104, and if you already have a tie-up with the TCS, so TCS is having already some batches with the Microsoft, right? So Microsoft, free of cost, Microsoft give you that training on behalf of them. After that, Microsoft also give you some vouchers, free exam vouchers. So like that, these are the different benefits are coming under that member offer. So this is a enterprise agreement. Now after that, we are having the Microsoft partner. Microsoft partner means what? Like a consultancy. So if you are having a Neoskills, if I'm having the I'm working in a cloud that, so these are the Microsoft partners. So if I'm having a Microsoft partner, then Microsoft gives us multiple subscriptions. So from our end, we can give other person, let's say our employees or anyone, we can give them a subscription of $100. We can generate a multiple passes for the $100. We can generate exam vouchers. We can do multiple things, as well as some of the trainings requirement, right? So this is what the Microsoft partner. So the partnership should be there with the Microsoft, right? After that, we are having the Microsoft reseller. Reseller is a middleman. You know about that reselling, right? Means some of the companies are taking some of the products, or they are having the Microsoft reseller agreement with the Microsoft, right? And they will use that, they will utilize that resources from for the other companies. Let's say this is my company which is connected with the Microsoft, right? With the Microsoft reseller. Now here we are having the agreement. Now the small industries, if I'm having a small company, I cannot afford this Microsoft reseller, Microsoft partner, or the enterprise agreements, but I want to utilize the resources from a cloud. Then what I can say that, okay, this company will connect with this particular Microsoft reseller. Microsoft reseller gives you some of the resources from their end, right? And they will take a benefit from both the end. The Microsoft reseller take a benefit from this person, this organization, as well as a Microsoft. And this is the middleman, Microsoft reseller, right? Like that, we are having that subscription. Another subscription, we have a Visual Studio. So if you are a Visual Studio subscriber, then you will get a Visual Studio subscription. And most of the time, this is also called as a MSDN or the Visual Studio subscription, like that. And as a MCT, Microsoft certified trainer like me, are having that Visual Studio subscription, where we will get every month $100 for that. So Microsoft will credit $100 every month automatically in our account. So I can utilize that thing for my demonstration purpose. So like that, we are having that Visual Studio. Student subscription means what? Like an enterprise agreement, some of the colleges or some of the institutes are already having a connection or having an agreement with Microsoft. Now, if you are the student of that particular institute, you will get a benefit of $50 per month, right? You will get a $50 benefit. You can just go for that student one and you can just apply for it. If you are the part of that particular institute, then you will get that subscription. So like that. And the another thing is Azure passes. Azure Pass means what? Microsoft partners, enterprise agreement, or the MCP ones, they can generate Azure passes of $50 or $100. from their end. And then if another person requires that, then we can give that particular code to that particular person. Let's say you are the student of my class, only one student of my class, then I will generate Azure passes for the $100, which have a validity of 30 days. And then I will give it to you. So here you don't require any kind of credit card details or anything else. You can utilize that $100 for a 1 month. You can just do the demonstration labs and all these things, and then you are okay with that. But here the case, as a MCT, I can generate only one pass in a 4 days, right? So this is a limitation. Every subscription is having that limitation. So free trial is also having some limitations. You can use only two storage account. You can use only 3 virtual machines at a one time, like that. So these are the different kind of limitations, and you will get that limitations from the subscription resources quotas. I will show you that part as right now. If it is a free trial, yesterday I gave you some steps to go for the free trial. See, for this particular reason, because you need to upgrade yourself after 1 month to the pay-as-you-go account, that is why for the free trial, if you are creating the free trial account, it will ask you for the credit card details. Because after 1 month, you need to pay, you need to upgrade yourself, and then you need to start to pay for it. So automatically your amount will be deducted from that as per the invoice, right? So in the free trial account, it will ask you for the credit card details. At the first time, it will only deduct 1 rupees or 2 rupees in order to check whether your credit card is valid or not. And just remember that you need to enable international transaction on your credit card. Then and then only it will work. Is this clear? What are the different subscription? Any questions regarding with that?
I have a question. For the free trial subscription, the 1 month is free and then it switches off to pay as you go. Then what is the meaning of $200 for 12 months?
Yes, that's the one. So $200 means what? Inside the $200, you will get some of the resources free of cost. Means your data, your amount will be deducted from that $200. If I'm using the 3 virtual machines, which is having 10 rupees per hour, so that particular 10 rupees per hour will be deducted from this. So if you are upgrading to the pay-as-you-go account, still some of the resources are free of cost. Means that particular resources are consuming this $200 for the, remember, 11 months. Got it?
So they're basically giving us a credit of $200 just to use.
Yes, just to you.
Okay.
Right? Any other questions?
Yeah, Madhuri, Sharanya, you no need to have the subscription, right? It's up to us, right? It's up to me. I mean, whether I want to learn, maybe I can use it, right?
Yes. If you want to learn Azure, then you have to create a subscription.
I mean, it's not a compulsory, right?
You cannot utilize the resources then.
Yeah, correct.
Right? It is up to you. If you want
Yes.
to take it, you can just take
it. Okay.
So,
All right.
Madhuri, so Madhuri, after, just to get it clear, so after 1 month, any amount will be deducted from my account, or is just like as a pay as you go? How many utilization I've done in that environment, that amount will be deducted.
Yes, that amount will be deducted and it will generate that invoice after 1 month.
Correct.
Every month.
So if I'm not using it, it will not deduct anything.
Will
Right?
not deduct you.
Okay.
Right? Now let's go for this Azure portal. Is this clear now? Now, if I want
sorry to interrupt. So yesterday in the chat, somebody has mentioned that even he or she was entering the Visa and MasterCard, it was not working. So how that
just check whether international transaction has been enabled or not.
Okay.
That's the main reason behind that.
Okay, got it, got it.
Okay, all right. Now what I have done over here, I have just searched from here Azure free account, and then I have selected create your Azure free account today. So whenever I'm going for that, I can go directly for the pay as you go account, or I can go for the start free. So this is not a compulsion to go only for the free trial. You can directly go for the pay as you go account as well. Now for that particular thing, you need to create a Microsoft account. If you are not having a Microsoft account, you can use your Gmail account or any other account, and then you can just connect with that. See here, looks like you already have an Azure account. I already have that. And I already upgraded it to the pay as you go account, right? So see here, these are the benefits. You will get 40 plus other services free always. If you are having that, and USD $200 user credits, right? So these are the benefits for that. Now, once you're done with that, once you enable your subscription, you have gone through all the details and all these things, it will directly redirect you to this particular portal. Otherwise, you can just simply search for that portal.azure.com. So remember that from here onwards, you will be having this particular portal. So it should be a portal.azure.com, right? Got it? So you can just close this window. Right now, I am inside this account, and this is my personal account. Always use your personal account for this particular thing. If you are using a labs or anything, you can just go with that personal account. And it is recommended by Microsoft as well. If you are planning for the certificates, always go for the personal account. Now, why? Why we have a personal account and why it is recommended for that? You cannot use your organization account, or this is a suggestion from Microsoft. Just use your personal account. Why is that?
Yeah, but suppose a person is working in an X company, he can go to any company, no, after that.
Yes,
So,
that's
yes.
the main reason. So that
Yeah.
no or any other organization will force you to do that certification from the organization account. Never. You can connect your personal account with your organization account. You can do that. But for the certification point of view, you always go with your personal account because it will stick with your account only. Maybe after 1 year or 2 years, I can just switch my organization. Then the previous organization will delete my account. And if I'm using that account, organization account for my certification, I lost my all the certification. So you need to again go for that certification. You will never get that certification. That's why always go with your personal email IDs only. Now,
The certification is identified only by your email ID, nothing else?
yes, email IDs only.
Okay.
All right. Now, so see here, this portal looks like this. Now, most of the time, you may have some, yes, Meenakshi?
Yeah,
Any question?
sorry, I can't hear you.
I got that raised hand, Meenakshi.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me. No, it may be by mistake.
Okay, sure. All right. All right, so this is your portal looks like. Now from here, this is your directory, right? Here you can sign out with that. Here, if you want to change your account or anything. So this is your directory. So right now I'm not talking about the directory part of you and the tenant part, because we will going to talk about that part after some time or after some modules. So just remember that there are two things. In your organization also, there is a HR person, HR department, and the IT department, right? So the HR department is the administrative level. IT department means what? These are actually working on the resources. So like that here also, these are the services which we are utilizing, right? And this directory means it's an administrative level. Now, after that, here you can add your feedback if you like that particular portal or not. Here, if you are having any kind of support or any troubleshooting or help, you can just go for it. Here we will have a settings. Now, inside that setting, if you are having a multiple directories, like if you are working in a TCS, then TCS is having its own directory. If you are working in another organization, you will have another organization. So like that, as per my sub organizations also, I can create a separate tenants or directories, right? So why we are having it, what is the difference between that, everything we will going to talk about in our identity and access management, as well as authorization and authentication. But here we need to talk about this part. So what is your default subscription? So right now I have a 2 subscription. So see here, one is a Azure subscription 1, which is my pay as you go account. And another one is a Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, which is automatically credited by Microsoft because I am the Microsoft certified trainer. And another thing, your resources pricing also changed on the level of subscriptions, what you have, and also on the level of your location or regions, what you are selecting. I will show you that part as well. Okay. Now, this is what my pay as you go account. Now, every time whenever I'm creating the resources or anything, I'm getting two subscriptions. So instead of that, if I want to fix with that subscription, always go with this subscription only, because I don't want to pay from my pocket, right? So I can just go for this Visual Studio Enterprise subscription. I can select it from here, or you can select it from here. Both the sides are same. See here, if I'm getting inside that, it will give me over here only. And then here we are having the appearance. How do you want your portal looks like? If you want a dark theme, if you want a another high contrast theme or anything, you can just add that part as well, right? Language and region, you can just select that language and region as well. English, you can just use that. My information, you can change your information, signing out and notification, you can do that. Here, you will get all the details. See here, just now, Microsoft has credited on the 9th November, Microsoft has credited 10,000 rupees in my account. So I can utilize this amount. And whatever the notification regarding with the resource created, resource failure, or anything, you will get a notification from here. And this is what called as a cloud shell. So as I said, you can create a resources from the portal, user interface kind of UI, or you can create a resources from the PowerShell or the CLI. So we are not talking about this part right now, right? But this is a very, very important search part. We will going to talk about that part after some time. So here on the vertical note, we are having this one, create a resource. If you are creating a resource, either you can search it from here. This is called as a marketplace. Here we are having all the marketplace. Here we are having the categories. If you remember in my presentation slide, there are compute category, blockchain category, containers category, database category. So you can just go through that database. So these are the services. There are many more services. You can go for that. See more marketplace, see more all services. You can just go for it, right? Here, DevOps. Here we are having the DevOps organization. DevOps starter is there. App configuration is there. All these things related to the DevOps. Compute, all these things related to the compute category. Virtual machine, container, and all these things. AKS is also there. So like that, you can have a multiple resources, right? But the best thing is search bar. If you really want to create and if you really want to explore any one of the resource, you can go with this one. So let's say if I want to search for subscription. Let's say if I want to search for subscription. So whenever I'm searching from here, I will get all the services. I will get a resources with that related with that subscription or that particular name, as well as I will get a marketplace, as well as I will get a documentation. This is most important. So you will get each and every document from the portal itself. You don't need to go over here and there. You don't need to search from this one. So if you are searching from the Google, then you will get maybe a learning documents from the Microsoft. You will get an OpenStack or multiple discussions by multiple URLs, right? But this is the most important, which is having the updated versions. So if I want to go with that subscription billing overview, I can just go for it. Age subscription, subscription decision guide, I can go for it. Directly I will get this thing. So I can read it. So see here, as I said, you can have a functional strategy, you will have a business unit strategy, you will be having a geography strategy. So you can just create that thing over here, right? And now we are only talking regarding with the subscription point of view or resources point of view, not the administrative level. We are talking from the IT perspective, right? So this is the one. If I'm creating any resources, virtual machine, storage account, I will search it from here. Because with the help of this search bar, I will get a document related with that resources as well. Till that, is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's get inside the subscription. Once you have your free trial, you will get this particular. Either you can search it from here, right? Or either you can search it from anywhere. You will get a subscription. Now here we are having the manage policies. If you want to apply some policy, request view. Let's say you have a 10 subscription and you want to just customize it. I want only this subscription, one subscription and subscription number 2. You can use that. View eligible subscription, you can just use that one as well. And if you want to add multiple subscription, you can just add it, right? So this is one. Why I'm having only one subscription over here? As I'm having 2 subscription in my account, because of this filter, I have filtered out only one subscription. That's why I'm just getting this one. If I'm getting inside that subscription, then I will get a multiple. So this is the part of activity log, access control, tag, diagnosis, and security events. That part we will going to talk about one by one, okay, in multiple modules. So you will get an understanding on that, everything. But today we are going to talk about the tags, right? Today we are going to talk about the cost analysis, cost alert, budget, right? So now what is meant by that cost analysis? So whatever you are utilizing on that particular portal, let's say you are utilizing more in my resource group 1, if you are utilizing for some virtual machine or anything, you will get a clear understanding by using that donut structure. See here, for the storage, I have utilized my 124 rupees. I have utilized for the virtual network 18 rupees, Azure monitor, app configurations in the East US region, for region wise, resource group wise, and services wise. You will get each and every detail. See here, my graph is going higher and higher and higher for that. Now, on that level, this is my actual cost. Right now, I am utilizing only 142 rupees from last 9th November, right? Only in 2-3 days. Forecast means and budget. Now, what is mean by that? So I have created a budget. Now, what is mean by this thing? So let's say my salary is 20,000, right? My salary is 20,000. So I can say that, okay, for this particular month, I will put a 10,000 only for my budget. Okay, I can say that. Or I can say that, okay, 20,000 is my budget. So I can just save my 2,000 only and 80,000 only I can utilize. That's it. So how I can understand that, okay, I have already utilized my 15,000. So if I'm getting alert, or I can just use some net banking, or then I can just easily understand, okay, I have utilized this much amount. Now I need to restrict my payments or something. I just need to reduce my all the things. So for this particular purpose, you can create a budget. Either you can create a budget from here, you can create a new budget from here, or either you can create a budget from here. Whenever you are clicking over here, it will redirect you to this particular page. Right now, I already have one of the budget, which is a Madhvi budget for the 6,000 rupees, right? As I have a 10,000 per month, I'm just making a budget as a 6,000 rupees. And then I can just add it. Another budget. You can just add the another budget. So you can say that, okay, this is my scope. If you want to change that scope to the pay-as-you-go account or other subscription, you can choose that. You can just put some name for that, okay, Sankhya budget. Right? Billing month. What is your billing month? What do you want? Budget as per the billing month or as per the quarter wise or as per the billing year wise or monthly, quarterly, annually, like that. You can just put an invoice for that or you can just use a calendar for that. Let's say I'm just saying that for the month basis. And what is my creation? Yes.
So Madhu, what is the billing month means? Like, what is a cycle, billing cycle? It's basically the day we start do the subscription, the billing starts from that particular date.
So it is starting from the 9th November for me.
Okay.
My billing date is 9th November. So I want to add that budget per monthly basis. So this is what the billing month.
Okay. No, I got that. But my question is that when I start the subscription, the billing month starts from that date, or it takes their own billing cycle in that case?
Here. It is starting from here.
Okay.
You can just define that. What is your creation date and what is your expiration date?
Okay. Okay.
So let's
Fine.
starting from the November. So I can specify, okay, November till 2023 only. That's it. And I can just change this one as well. Okay, till the August. And I can just put that days as well for that. And then I can specify, okay, the amount will be 7,000. I can say that 7,000 for that. So it will calculate and it will give me that kind of things. So see here, in the September month, I have utilized too much amount, right? So this is my amount. This is my 7,000 is my threshold now, actual, right? Which is my budget. This is the actual means I have utilized this month amount. And budget means this is my threshold amount. And then I can go for a next one. Now, if I'm going for the next one, here we are having the actual and the forecasted. Now, actual means what? If I'm saying that actual means it will take only the actual data, means 7,000 amount. Forecasted means it will take more than that or less than that as per my last utilization, right? So let's say I'm just saying that, okay, on the level of actual amount, I will create a budget. Let's say if 7,000 rupees, if I'm utilizing 90% of that, then, so I'm just putting some condition, okay, 80%. 80% means if I'm reaching towards the 5,600, then I can choose the action group. Action group means what? If I want some notification on the email ID, if I want to do something, another things, if I want the notification on my mobile phone or by using the voice calling or anything, I can use that action group. Now, what is mean by action group? That part we will going to see in our last module, which is a monitoring. So there you will get a clear understanding on that. Right now, just remember that whenever this amount, I'm utilizing this much amount, it will send me the alert, right? Alert recipient. Who will be the alert recipient? You can just put the alert recipient. It is not a mandatory that you have to use this particular email ID only. You can use your manager's email ID. You can use your another personal email ID. You can do that, whatever you want. And then language preferred. And then this is the one. See here, right? And then you can just create it. So let's say I can choose my email ID as Madhvi dot like that. I can use multiple accounts, email IDs over here. I can just do that and then I can just create it. That's it, right? So like that, you can create your budget. Now, whenever we are creating the budget, only it will give you the notification. So I'm just restricting myself to reaching more than that, going more than that. But in the organizations, we are just creating the budget in order to check whether we are utilizing more than our budget or lesser than our budget, just to monitor it. If some of the resources in that particular month actually require that much of amount, we cannot say that. We cannot stop our production environment, right? Because it is a mandatory. We have to do that. We have to do that production environment, right? We have to go with that flow. We cannot say that, okay, my budget is this. You cannot start your production. You have to stop your resources and all these things. It is not a proper way, right? This is not the best practice. So budgeting means what? I'm just restricting myself to reduce my costing. That's it. But if it is required more than that, I have to use it, right? So this is what the budget. Now cost alert, you can create a cost alerts for that as well, right? So this is the same thing which I have created in a budget. So you can create alerts rules on that, right? After that, advisor recommendation. Now what is mean by advisor recommendation? So sometimes what happened, advisor give you the advice as per the naming convention. Most of the time we are going with the naming convention only. It will explain in a proper way. Advice, it will give me that advice. Let's say in my organization there are 100 virtual machines, and each virtual machine is assigned with users per employee. Let's say out of that 100 employees, 10 employees resign from my organization. So from the HR end or from somewhere should take care of that. They have to delete that virtual machines after the person, right? Now, if it is not happened from any other ends, then this portal, this organization should pay for that virtual machine, standby virtual machine. No one is using that virtual machine. Still, that virtual machine is there, then I have to pay for it. 6 rupees per hour, 10 rupees per hour. So it's a useless kind of thing. So now Azure advisor recommendation is here. If some of the resources are not working properly or not in a use frequently, then it will give you that recommendation. Then it will show you that these resources are not working. So you can just find out, okay, this employee has resigned and we need to delete that virtual machine. And we need to take some decision on that virtual machine or some resource. So this is what the advisor recommendation, Azure advisory. This is also called as a Azure advisory, right? Now here we are having that invoice. So it will generate an invoice.
Madhavi, so I have a question on advisor recommendation. So in this case, like, what is the minimal time period they observe and give you the advice recommendation? Is something, any threshold is there? Like if the user is not using for 1 month or 2 months, they will start giving the advisor recommendation, or it's just on a random basis?
It's just on the filter base. You can just check that filters over here. You can just put that equals to value and select that filters. So created by, so somebody has MS resource usage. So you can just put that filters. You can just put the equals to, I can just choose that one or any other thing. So right now I'm not having too many resources in my portal. So you can just add that filters and then you can just figure it out what is happening over here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And Madhi, I have a question regarding the cost management budgets. So if you set a budget and you've reached the budget and you've exceeded the budget, will the services, the Azure portal services will be restricted, or will I just get an alert just to remind myself that I've exceeded the budget or I'm about to exceed, and that's it?
Okay, so in most of the time, we cannot restrict the resources. As I said, if the production is going on, we have to pay for it, right? We cannot stop our production environment. So it will give me that alert or the notification. Okay, you are going out of your budget. So at least I can check which resources are utilizing more from here, and then I can delete it. So one day, what happened? I have created a bastion. I just forgot to delete my bastion. Then it, in the 2 days only, it has utilized my whole credits. So from that, I got an alert. Okay, you have reached out to the budget, and I just supposed to think about that. I have deleted my all resources, and how it is that possible? Then I just gone over here and I just checked that. Then I got to know about that. Okay, Azure Bastion has utilize that much, so I can just delete it. So like that, if you are reaching to the budget, you can just check if resources are utilizing more. You can delete that resources if you don't want it, but you cannot stop the production environment if it requires more money instead of the budget, over the budget. If you want to go, then you have to go for it. So it will not restrict any other resources, it will just give you the notification.
And suppose I receive a notification saying I'm about to exceed my budget, can I go to the advisor recommendations and based on those advisor recommendations, I can manage my budget?
Yes, you can just delete that resources. Either the best way is this one, cost analysis. So on the cost analysis, you will get that each and every detail. Okay, this services, but here you can get only these things. Okay, virtual machine is utilizing this much amount. So storage is utilizing this much amount. So I can go for the advisor and just check which virtual machines are running over there. And then I can just take my decision.
Makes sense. Okay, thank you.
So, Madhavi, what is the best practices as a associate to visualize this graph, or you can say this cost management stuff, like it to go through first to advisor recommendation, then go to cost analysis, how we coordinate or we sync ourselves to make sure that nothing is going beyond the budget or anything like that.
Okay. So for that particular thing, either you can create a budget, and inside that, if you remember, there is an action group. So action group is having a lots of options inside that. It
Mhm.
will only give you the email notification. If you really want to delete some of the resources from the portal, you can do that by using the action account, automation account. So you
Okay.
take a decisions what is your really recommended for you and what is really required for your organization. The best option is go with that. This one, cost analysis. Whenever you are going for the subscription, you will get that cost analysis. At least you have a clear understanding. Okay, this has happened over here, and then you can just take a look over here which resources are utilizing more, and then on the level of that you can just delete that resources and you can just take some decision on that, and then you can just go for that to check whether some of the resources are not in use and they are just utilizing my credits. So you can just use this one as well.
Correct. So what is the actual scenario in advisor recommendation? What should be the settings, best scenario or best practice for settings for advisor recommendation? I do understand it changes as per the organization requirements or usage, but what is the ideal state?
What is the ideal state? Okay, what do you want exactly over here?
So for example, I would like to see that the budget, on an actual situation, what happens is that some budget is fixed by the product owner. And then after we have to definitely go ahead and make ourselves as per that budget itself. No doubt it might go up, but definitely there will be some threshold and upper threshold and lower threshold we have to manage. So if we go in that process, like what the advisor recommendation should be the proper, you can say the settings out here. As you just showed, there is a filter where we can add multiple things to get the recommendation.
Okay, so first of all, don't get confused with that budget and the advisor. They are not related with each other.
Okay.
Budget means it's a separate one where you can create an alert, and by using that action group, you can take an action.
Got it.
It will give you only the recommendation. It won't take any kind of decision.
Okay.
You can see only what
Mm.
are the resources are not doing up to the mark. That's it only. So on that level, you can just take a filter and you can just take an action on that from your end. It is
Okay.
not having any kind of action groups.
Okay. We can. So Madhvi can summarize like budget is like a reactive process and advisor recommendation is like a proactive process altogether.
That's it, right? So in your examination also, they will give you the same scenario. I have a 200 virtual machine and I want to check that from that some of the virtual machines are not working properly. Then how to check that? So the Azure advisor will be the answer for that. Okay.
Okay.
But you will get that question. Now, next one is the invoice. Invoice means what? It will create an invoice for every month. See here, invoice. It is having a 0 amount due. So if you look into that, this is the another one. Here I need to pay for this much total amount, Azure resources. And what is my, I have already paid that. So this is my pay as you go account. So you will get all the invoices. And why here we are having a 0? Because I'm not using that. So this is all about the pay as you go account, not my Visual Studio Enterprise subscription account, because for that particular subscription, Microsoft is paying for that. So I don't need to worry about that. And see, if I'm not utilizing my pay as you go account, the value is 0 for that. Microsoft will never charge me for this. And after that, if you are using it, then Microsoft will add that invoice. It will generate the invoice, and then you can just add your payment method from here. Right? Your credit card details and all these things are coming over here. And in future, if you want to change that payment method or anything, you can just do that. See here, this is my card. Partner information. If you already have a Microsoft partner, then you can utilize that ID and you can just get the benefit of it. Right? And then let's talk about that resource groups. Now, whenever we are talking about the resources point of view or the Azure services point of view, we need to understand the organization chart. Now, what is inside my organization chart? So first of all, my organization chart will start with parent management group. Now, where is that management group? So if I'm searching from here we are having that management group. See here, this is my management group. Now, what is meant by that management group? So as I said, there are multiple ways to distribute your organization or the sub-organization. So one way is to distribute your organization, sub-organization by using the community cloud. Another way is this management group. Another way is there in your directory. You can just divide that directory directly as well. So this is the one part. If you are present in a one organization, if your all users, employees are working into that organization, but if you want to create a separate isolation in between that organization with the sub-organization or anything, let's say there we are having the consulting team, we are having some training department, we are having some HR department, and in that departments there are sub departments are there. So if I want to do that, then in a parent organization, and parent should be only one, child may be multiple, but parent is only one. And from that parent management group, there are multiple, either you can add a multiple child management groups. So see here, this is my child management group, or either you can add your subscription. See that? in the parent management group, you can add a multiple child management group, or you can directly add a subscription. And inside the child management group, again, if you want to add another child management group, or if you want to add another subscription, you can just do that. So this is what a kind of a chart or hierarchy. So at the first level, we are having the management group, which is nothing but it's a collection of subscriptions or multiple subscription as well as a multiple child management groups. Now inside that management group, we are having a multiple subscription on the level of multiple functional strategy, business unit strategy, geographic strategy. You can add a multiple subscription. Now in a subscription, we are having a multiple resource groups, RG. Now resource group is nothing but it's a collection of or the grouping of resources. Resource group means in your organization, let's say I'm working in a Flipkart for the Flipkart application. Another team is working for the another application, let's say Netflix application. So we are divided, employees should be divided in a different teams. So their grouping is there. So that grouping is nothing but your resource groups. And resource group is a logical grouping of the resources. And also it will give you the life cycle management. And inside the resource group, you can add a multiple resources. So this is my resource, and resource. So inside that resource group, either you can add only one resource, or you can add a multiple resources, or you can add all resources. That is up to you. Now, if you remember somebody from the AWS, right? Am I correct? Somebody has some knowledge on AWS? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So if you remember, if you want to delete the resources, let's say if you want to delete a EC2, which is a virtual machine, then you have to delete one by one resource, right? There is a no resource group kind of structure. Now you have to delete this resource separately. But if you are using the Azure, it is present in the resource group. If you are deleting this resource group, automatically all the resources inside that resource group get deleted. So this is what the life cycle management, right? By using that life cycle, these all resources are connected with that resource group. Is this clear? Grouping and that actual resources. Employee means what? A resource, which are doing the particular work. And on that, there is another terminology which is called as a resource provider. Now, what is meant by the resource provider? Who provides the resources. Now, why we have a resource provider? So, Microsoft is the owner of Windows. Microsoft is not the owner of Linux. It is not the owner of Red Hat. It is not also owner of Redis cache and all, right? Still, we get that resources in our portal, in our marketplace. How? Because of the resource provider. So if you remember, if I want to hire some employees in that particular area, then I cannot directly reach out to that employees, right? I will reach out to the Naukri.com or the other consultancies, and they will give me that resource. So like that, Microsoft also reaches to the resource providers, and then they will provide you that resources. So why this is important? Because whenever you are using that portal for the first time, right, some of the resources or some of the resource providers are already enabled or registered. It says registered. But some of the resources are not registered. So you will get that resource provider over here. In that subscription only, you will get a resource provider. So see here, these are the resources I have already registered because I have used that many resources. But some of the resources are not registered yet because I haven't used any build, I haven't used analysis services, I haven't used AG food platform and all, right? But if you want to do that, let's say I want to add that add-ons. If I want to utilize that kind of resources, then I can simple connect over here or just select this one, that's it. And here I can use a register. It will not charge you. Whenever you are creating that resources, then and then only Microsoft will charge you. For the registering purpose, Microsoft never charge. Why we are registering it? Because whenever I'm creating that add-ons resource, it will take a time to register it in the backend. So if I want to reduce that timing for the deployment, then I can just register it first and then I can create it. I can do that. Otherwise, Microsoft will by default register that resources in the backend. I haven't registered it. Microsoft has registered it in the backend for me. So like that, these are the resource providers, right? And here we are having that resource group.
So Madhavi, how much time it take to get registered? Like after doing the registration, how much time it take that non-registered provider to be included?
For in a few seconds or till a 1 minute, it will do that.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yes. So see here, these are the resource groups I have, right? These are the resources I have, right? And here we have a usage and quota. Now, what is mean by that usage and quota? So as I said, as per subscription, you will have a limitation. It means if I'm using the pay-as-you-go account or if you are using the free trial account, then it is a fixed. So if I'm using the Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, then in the East US region, I will have a basically 20 virtual machine or vCPU in the East US region. Only in the East US region, I will have a 20 vCPUs. Why it is a 40? Because I have raised that case. I have increased that quota. So that's why it is showing me that 40 now. So you can increase that. See here, you can create how many virtual machines in the East US region? 25,000. You can create 50,000 premium storage. You can create a storage account. You can create an availability set. So it will perfectly sufficient for my particular requirement. So I can just choose that and I can just utilize it. See here, till now I have just used 3 virtual machines out of 25,000. So like that, you can just use it. Now, if you want to change that, see here, I have already request increase. I have done that request increase. But if you want to create a new support request, you can just go for it. So let's say 25,000 is not sufficient for me in the East US region. Then I can increase that quota. Other request, or if let's say I want a virtual machine or any storage or anything else over here, then I can just increase that. Let's say I want to increase the networking or I want to increase the service bus. And then I can just go for the next one. Recommended solutions and the additional details, I can just put it. And then I can just do the review and create it. Got it? So these things are there. So if I am going over here, request, increase that request, then also I will get the same thing. How much you want? Right now you are having a 40. If you want more than that, you can just increase that vCPUs and then submit it. So you will get that increased quota over here, or you can just go from here. Got it? So this is sufficient for your requirement. Yes, go ahead.
The request for the quota increase, will it come with a cost?
Yes, not the request. So whenever you are utilizing that resources, then and then only you have to charge.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think.
So, Madhavi, one question, like in the resource group, how many resource group we can add? What is the limitation?
There is no limitation on the resources.
Okay. Somewhere I heard it is like 10,000 resource group we can create to the maximum. Is that so?
Whether Microsoft has added some restriction, because Earlier, there is no limitation on that. So let's say how many resources, right? In Azure. Let's see 800 instance. You can deploy up to 800 instances of the resource type in which in each resource.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So they have updated that part. And Microsoft, don't worry about that. If you are read something over there and now Microsoft says that things, then whether I have read a wrong thing or not, no. You have read a, because Microsoft is updating the thing in every day.
Okay.
So you will get this particular portal right now. Maybe tomorrow you will get a separate thing.
Correct.
So that Microsoft is changing continuously on the portal.
Okay.
Right?
Got it.
About that, but you will get an updated version in the Microsoft Learns document only.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Perfect. So this is done. Now the policies. Policies means what? If I want to restrict, let's say this is my subscription. And in order to, let's say my employees are working in that subscription, they have some of the privilege or the access. They can create any resources as per their access. So if I want to restrict, okay, you can create a virtual machine only D2S V3 series and only 8 GB RAM. That's it. No other images are allowed. If I want to say that, okay, storage account, you can create only the LRS storage account, no other storage account. I can say that, okay, you can create a resources only in a East US region, not any other region. I can do that. I can add that policy. And how I can add that policies as per the policy assignment. So here I can apply that scope. And this is my scope. And inside that, I can exclude some resources. Okay, let's say this policy is applicable for my whole subscription, all my resource group, all my resources inside my subscription. Okay, but I want to exclude one of the resource group from that, or one of the resource from that. Then I can exclude it. Let's say I have excluded RG day 4. Let's say I have excluded RG day 4 from that particular policy, and then I can just save it. Done. It means this policy is applicable in for all the resource group and resources inside my subscription instead of RG day 4. And then here I can apply the policy definition. So you can have a multiple policy definition. Inbuilt policy definitions are there, which is fulfilling your goal. But if you want to customize it as per your choice, you can do that. There is no restrictions on that. So let's say if I'm searching for the location, allowed location, or let's say allow govern the locations for the resources. Let me just add that. Allowed locations. Here, this one, I can just choose that allowed locations for the resource group separately. I can just do that part as well. So if I'm going through that allowed locations and then select, then here you can just put that description. Okay, this is what only East US region is allowed, right? And then I can just enable that policy, and then I can go for a next, because I have not selected where I have selected that East US. I have to select that East US, right? Or not only the East US, you can select a multiple. You can do that. Okay, I want to select only East US and West US. Only you can create the resources inside that. Then also I can do it. It is not per region basis. You can just select how many resource regions you want. So let's say if I'm saying that East US region, I can select that and then I can just go for a next. So create a managed identity. So I'm not going to talk about that part, but yes, if you want to send a message, whenever somebody creates in a West US region or other than East US region, they will get a message. Then I can say that only East US is allowed. I can just put that message. So they will get that understanding. Okay, somebody has created a policy that do not allow instead of East US region. So see here you will get that policy in some time. Okay, and what is meant by the assign initiative? Assign initiative means number of policies, not only single policy. If you want to assign a bunch of policy, then you can assign it by using that assign initiative, or it is called as a policy initiative. See here, this is my allowed location. So this is my policy. Now, if you want to view the definition or if you want to edit the assignment, you can just do that. Right? Or if you want to change that definition by using your custom definition, or if you want to make a changes into that customization, you can do that by using the view definitions as well. Now, let's say this policy says that only East US region is allowed. Let's say if I'm creating the storage account, don't worry about that. What is meant by storage account? Just bear with me. All right. So let's say I'm just using the another region. Let's say RG203, or let's create another region, RG-demo, right? So here, either you can create a resource group from here, or either you can separately create a resource group and then select the existing resource. Okay. And then storage account name, I can just use Madhvi storage, any name. And then maybe I can just choose the West US region. I can choose the LRS and then review and create it. Maybe first time it will take some time to apply that policies, but let's see. Let's wait for a while.
So Madhavi, this policy is only related to the region's restrictions to the users or the person who is creating some storage or anything, right?
It is related to anything, resources point of view. You are applying the policies on the level of resources. As I said, if I want to restrict it on the virtual machine level,
Okay.
this particular image you can use, then also I can do that.
Okay.
Right? For the storage account as well. You can just say that, okay, policy, I can apply policy. Only you can create a storage account in a GRS, not the LRS. I can do that. Now see here, that validation has failed. So if I'm getting inside that, see here, it is saying that Madhvi storage was disallowed by the policy. And what is that policy? I can go with that allowed for locations and I can see that.
Okay.
So this is what is the message I have put that only East West is allowed, right? So I cannot create that resources in a East West region, but I can create it in a another resource group, which is a RG day 4, right? Here I can create it. Here I can create any resources in any regions.
Yeah, because I think you have created an exception for this.
Excluded. I have just excluded my this particular resource. So let's see whether it is possible or not. Let me just put that resource group RG day 4. And again, I am just using that Madhvi storage. And then I can just choose the West US 2 region. And then let's say LRS and review and create it. Let's see. See here, now I can create it. So like that, you can allow that policies or you can just delete that policy. So
Got
right, I don't want that restrictions on me. So I can just delete my policy definition from here.
Clear. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So let me just delete it again, and then we will talk about the resource lock. Policies, let me just delete that. Then delete that assignment. Okay. If you go through that, see here, one non-compliant is there. Now, what is mean by that compliant? One non-compliant is there. So, as I said, after creation of policy, one resource has been created in a West US2 region as storage account, right? So this is out of that policy. Still, it is an excluded one, but it is going out of my policy. So that's why it shows you one policy gone beyond that East US region, right? And the remediation. Remediation means what? If you are having already, let's say, I have created a policies in East US region, restricted to the East US region only. But still, there are some resources are present already in a India region or the West US region. Then what I can do? So I can take a decision on that, whether I want to delete that resources or I want to just keep it as it is. So I can just take that decision by using that remediation. So policies to remediate. I can choose that policies and then I can just check whether it is allowed or not, right? So this part is done. Now let's talk about the last point from here, which is the resource lock. Now you will get that resource lock option on every subscription, on every resource group, and on every resource. So resource lock means what? You are just preventing your resources from the delete or the read. Now what happened? What happened over here? See, let's say we are having a two team members. I'm having a two team members and I have given the access on the resource group level. If I'm giving the access on the resource group level as an editor or the contributor. Contributor means what? That users can delete anything, users can create anything in my particular resource group. So here we have a user number 2 and here we have a user number 1. Okay. So that user number 1 has created a VM1, user number 2 has created VM2, right? Now they both are having the privileged or the access on the resource group level. Means user number 1 can access VM2, user number 2 can access VM1 as well. And they both can delete any virtual machine from the resource group. But let's say VM1, as per the user number 1, user number 1 wants to prevent VM1 from the deletion. Then I can put a resource lock over there to do not delete. What I can say? Okay, I can put the resource lock, which is a do not delete. By mistake, if user number 2 going to delete a VM2, but instead of selecting the VM2, it has selected a VM1, right? Because of some spelling complications or anything, it has selected a VM2 and he has deleted that virtual machine. Then what will happen? That user number 1 lost the virtual machine. But if it has already prevented the resource lock, then user number 2 cannot delete the virtual machine. User number 2 will get that notification. Okay, you cannot delete that resource because it is locked. Got it? So it's the only prevention, not the protection. Why it is a prevention only? Because if user number 2 wants to really delete that virtual machine, then user number 2 will go over here, delete that resource lock, and then delete the virtual machine. Because that user number 2 is also can access that virtual machine. Got it? So that's why this is only a prevention by mistake thing.
So, Madhvi, what happens when there is an outage or something got deleted in that case? Does this locks works as well?
Where you are saying that?
Say VM1, I put a lock
Mhm.
and there is an outage or the VM got crashed in that case. So will this lock will help
No,
to prevent?
no.
Okay.
Only by mistake, if I'm deleting that resource, then and then only it will prevent it. It will just throw me that error. That's it. Okay. So that's why it's not a that much level of security, but we can include that resource lock in the security perspective
Okay.
in the lower level. So here you can just put that do not delete. I can just put that do not delete, and I can just put that also. Read only means you cannot create also something in my subscription, or you can create it, but you cannot delete it. So like that, there are two lock types, and then you can just say, okay, now I'm having that access, so I can delete that. So if anybody else is having that access on the subscription, they can delete it, and then they can just do the delete perform, right? So like that, they can perform the multiple things over here. Is this clear till that? Any questions? Is that bouncer for you? Am I going very fast or going very slow? Anything?
Good.
Mhm.
No, I think I'll have to create this and had to have some hands-on. So for me, it's going some bouncer, but still I'll learn.
Okay,
I mean,
don't worry about it.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
you understand what is meant by subscription?
yeah.
That is my today's agenda. Because from tomorrow onwards, you will going to create a resource group. Every day you are going to create a resource group, resources and all, right?
Correct.
Just the only thing is you need to understand what is meant by subscription and what the aspects are present over there. Still, I'm not going to talk about the tags right now, because again, it will go bouncer for you. Okay.
Right.
So we will going to talk about the tags, and just remind me. We want to talk about the tags if I forget, right? All right. So this part is done. I think we are good here for the day. I'm not going to talk about the virtual machine. I have an agenda to complete that subscription and virtual machine, but it's okay for me. Tomorrow we will going to start with the virtual machine in a detail, then how to create a web server on it, and any website we can just host it on it, just taking a source page view on that, and then just do that. Okay. And then we will going for the next part, which is the storage, or we can go for the networking as well. Is that be good?
That sounds good.
All right. So tomorrow we will start at 9 a.m. sharp. Okay.
Okay. Madhvi, can you share some sample questions that that can be expected for the certification based on the topics we covered today?
Not on the based on the topics we have covered today, but for sure I will provide you that kind of questions on the last day for
Okay.
804, 900, 305, and if you want more, I will give you that as well.
And what about the recording? How will you share the recording?
Okay, I will put that recordings in my drive. Okay, and I will give you that link
On the WhatsApp?
on WhatsApp. Also, I can just do that. Let's do one thing. Let's create a drive over here. Let me just use that. Drive. Okay, let me just in the Azure batch. Skill 111. Right. Okay, I will give you that access. Okay, in that. And I will upload that video over here. All right.
Okay. Are there any other topics that you would want us to read and come prepared for tomorrow?
Not really. So we will go for that once, and then if you are having any doubt, you can just go for the document.
Okay.
Madhavi, I've shared my email address to you, so you can just include.
No. Did you get that link in a chat? I'm just trying to share that link. I don't know.
Not yet.
The mind, the
Okay.
survey part you're talking about.
Fun. I'm just sharing this link in chat box. I'm just entering on that, and it's still not working. Okay, no worries. I will send that particular link in our WhatsApp group. Is that
Okay,
be
perfect.
That would be great.
sure? All right then. Bye bye everyone. Have a nice day ahead and enjoy the
Madhavi.
weekend.
Yeah, thank you, Madhuri, for your time.
Yes.
Okay,
See you
same.
tomorrow.
Bye everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Have a good one.
Take care.